All right. Welcome, everyone. Do a little dance.
Dun, 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 dun.
All right, that's enough. Hey, welcome, everyone, to Life Extension Live. I'm Dr. Mike Smith, and this is over there.
Doc-
Wait, no, that way.
Yes, Dr. Crystal.
I'm not good at that. I gotta
That's
like
the right way.
Okay, I gotta work on that. Dr. Crystal, thanks for joining me today. Listen, this is a great Life Extension Live because not only is it Heart Month, it's Valentine's Day.
Well, it's Valentine's month. You know, some of us celebrate Valentine's Day the entire month.
What? Of course you do, right? I bet your husband goes right along with that, doesn't he?
Well, I don't know. I'll have to tell you a really quick story. When we were dating, we would break up every Valentine's Day. He would get anxiety and he wouldn't like do anything. It was like cold feet, and then it would just be
so everybody watching, I know her husband. We talk about Blake. We kind of pick on. Does Blake know we pick on him a little bit on this show? But I know him, and he's awesome. He actually works with Life Extension, so I know he tries his best. Carmen Miller, hey, it's nice to see you guys.
Hi,
Penny,
Carmen.
nice to have you.
Hi, Penny.
So this is I think this is great, right? So the title of this is Spicing Up Your Life, Your Relationships with Heart Healthy Recipes. And so obviously spicing is a big part of this, right?
Right.
And it should be. I think herbs, spices, that's the medicine cabinet of the modern world, right? I mean, that's what we should be doing.
Yes, that's what it should be.
Yes, but you know what? And I said something there I didn't like. Spices and herbs were the medicine cabinet a long time ago. We changed that with conventional medicine and all that kind of stuff. So we're really excited about the show today, and hopefully you'll get some good ideas about how to spice up recipes, improve heart health, and I don't know, maybe if you're Dr. Crystal, maybe you make Blake really love a meal or something. I don't know. We'll have to see.
I plan on it. Well, you know, we definitely aren't going to any restaurants. We are pretty strict around here for COVID. So, you know, it's one of those things where you're staying in. Maybe you're making a nice dinner. We have a nice surprise dessert drink that we will demo for all of you today.
Nice.
Something that you can make that may contain some aphrodisiacs. Who knows? I don't know where that came from.
It sounds like you are wanting something. Anyways, all right. We're going to move on, as often I have to do in this show with Dr. Crystal. I got to move it on. So here's what we're going to do. Before we get into the big spices that we think are so good for your health, we wanted to talk about salt. I mean, this is Heart Month, right?
Yes.
And you know, we all want to reduce how much salt we use. Dr. Crystal, you know, I'm a big fan of a lot of food channels. I watch a lot of that stuff. And one of the things that always blows my mind is when a big chef is cooking something and they say this, they say, well, add just a pinch of salt. And they're like, I mean, I'm like, that's not a pinch. I mean, they're pouring like a half a thing. So I wanted to talk a little bit about, like, I'm not saying stop salt altogether. Now, if you have high blood pressure already, maybe so. So that's fine.
Maybe so.
I wanted to talk about some spices, some herbs that maybe we could use to alternate with some of the salt, right? So maybe it's not like so much salt. Maybe it truly is that pinch of salt, and then we use some of these other herbs. So I have a list here.
Okay.
Let's all be honest. If you ever notice when we do demos with food and stuff, it's not me doing the demo. It's Dr. Crystal. There's a reason for that. I'll say that right. But I have some things to, so I want to hear your opinion about some of these salt complements. Maybe that's a good way to say it. Yeah. And have you used these before? So here's the first one. And this one I've actually have used, just so you know.
All right.
It's allspice. Have you done that one before? Yeah.
I have. And actually, this is something that my mother-in-law uses. She uses it in chili.
Oh, I'm from Texas. I like my chili. That's good.
He uses it in chili. And so that's one that we keep in the pantry.
Okay, so I have some other ones. Caraway seeds.
You know, you should have told me about these. I would have pulled them out of my pantry.
Yeah, well, apparently, from what I understand, so it was caraway seeds, and you combine them with cloves, cumin, and I'm missing one here. Where was it? Paprika. That grouping really does well if you add it to just a true pinch of salt. It like takes the salt further or something like that. I don't know. I watch shows. I haven't tested.
Yes, and I've seen that. And obviously I'm not a chef, but I've cooked. I used to date a chef back before my husband, of course.
Oh, and you tell.
And I used to cook with him. And I would be, he was an executive chef. And every once in a while I would visit the location and I would be back in the kitchen. And another kind of spice that he used to keep locked away was saffron. And so I've seen some of these, preparations. And it's things that you would never really think to use unless you're following an exact recipe. And so I think you're on to something. Is that's that it factor when you go to a restaurant and you're trying to figure out, why does my food not taste like this? What's happening?
There usually are some herbs and spices that like make you go, what is that? Right?
Yes.
And that's kind of what we're going to talk about today. So anyways, there are things you can do. And I'm not talking about pure salt alternatives. I'm talking about using a little bit of salt with things, as we said, allspice. I have a whole list here: nutmeg, onion powder, oregano, paprika, even like Italian seasoning blends, what have you. Mix that with a true pinch of salt, and that could go a long way for anyone who needs to reduce that. People with heart disease, people with high blood pressure, and so on. So we wanted to start there. By the way, Life Extension wrote a wonderful blog on all this. And you could check it out at lifeextension.com/spices. And there's a whole nice intro to herbs and spices and all that kind of stuff. So anyways, that's just where we want to start. Let's get kind of like into the nitty-gritty here. We're going to talk about some specific heart healthy spices. And I know Dr. Crystal, she knows I don't do much in the kitchen. So she wants to quiz me. Now, are you sure you're going to, because you know what? I may surprise you.
We'll see.
All right.
Not just Dr. Mike, because this is a time that we can interact with our viewers. And so the way this is going to work, I have some spices in front of me. Let's move my camera back a little bit.
Move the camera a little bit.
Maybe I'll move the spices forward. Let's see.
That looks good.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. No, but okay. So when we were setting this up, I told you five spices or what? I don't know what the number was, but what do you?
5.
Yes. 5. Okay, good. You actually listened to me that time. That's awesome. So we have 5 spices, and so it's just so the setup for this, so the audience knows. There were a bunch of spices, and if you check out that blog, that's posted right there. I just saw it pop up at /spices. You will see there's so many important herbs and spices for overall cardiovascular health, reduce oxidative stress, reduce inflammation. It goes on and on and on. But Dr. Crystal, out of that grouping, picked out her favorite 5. And she's now going to test me and us, everybody watching, whether we know these spices or not, right? Is that, this is the right setup, right? Okay. All right. So let's go ahead. We have 5 spices. And well, that one's easy. Come on now.
Maybe.
Are you trying to trick me? Don't trick me.
So this spice, I'll just describe the spice and I'll put it up to the camera, and I want everyone to comment in the chat if you
I know that. I know
name this spice. It's one that is an ingredient in many curry dishes. The spice is great for digestion, and it can be helpful for targeting inflammation in the body, for mood. And I see them coming in. Janice was the first. So don't look at the chat, Dr. Mike.
I can't. It's right in front of me. You should have set this up better. Everybody, we have Julia, Ari, everybody. Turmeric, right? Yeah,
that's right. Turmeric.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Okay. So I knew this one, and I knew by the color. So turmeric. If you think about all the different parts of it, about 10% is the key compound we call curcumin, right, Dr. Crystal?
That's
right. That's the most researched compound found in this important spice. But you said something interesting, Dr. Crystal, about curry, and I want to talk. Can we just talk a sec about curry?
Yes.
Like, I thought growing up, from the South, where everything was fried, fried chicken, fried fish, fried whatever. We didn't curry. Curry. Whatever. I didn't discover curry until I went to Dallas, which was a pretty metropolitan city. And curry, and tell me if I'm wrong. Curry there's not like one curry. Curry is a blend of things, right? And you can have different curries based on the blend and based on where it comes from, different spices you're using. However, with that said, would you agree turmeric is like a big spice across the board for that, right?
Turmeric is a big spice across the board. And yes, I used to think they were kind of the same thing until I realized that, yes, curry is a combination of spices. So, and it tastes, to me, I like the flavor of curry better than the, straight turmeric.
Okay.
But, the turmeric is really the health, researched health component. And of course, we know the most active curcuminoid found in turmeric is curcumin.
Yeah, curcumin. And so why is that so important to heart health? How are we going to relate this to building your relationships better and building your heart relationship better? Like your physical.
Yes. Well, we know when we look at heart health and some of the risk factors for heart disease, one of the underlying risk factors is inflammation. And we know that chronic inflammation is something that many people deal with. And trying to manage inflammation can be challenging. And so you find different nutrients or different herbs or different spices that can target different pathways of inflammation or different mediators involved with the production of inflammatory proteins in the body. And so what's nice about curcumin, which of course comes from turmeric or is found in turmeric, is that curcumin is targeting almost all of those pathways.
Yeah.
I mean, pathways that you've heard of, if you're familiar with, COX and LOX and TNF alpha, some of those, pro-inflammatory mediators out there and proteins, curcumin is targeting upstream and downstream.
I think that's a really good point, and it's something we could teach our audience. We've talked about this for so long, and we will continue to talk about this. Chronic inflammation is the common denominator of age-related disease, right? So
yes.
heart disease, brain disease, you know, whatever. But so how does that happen? It turns out that there are multiple pathways in developing chronic inflammation, and curcumin can actually help to inhibit many of those at the end of the day, right? That's the power of curcumin. By the way, Dr. Chris, I'm going to mention that one of our social media people here at Life Extension is Holly, right? You know Holly. Holly is like kind of a food guru. She actually knows a lot, and so I look forward to like seeing Holly like talk a little bit and clarify maybe some of the stuff I say wrong. I don't know.
No, Dr. you're right on target. But Holly is she moderating the chat today?
I think so. I think she's on there. Holly and Brittany. So anyway, look forward to their comments, because we can't always comment on everything that's going. The comments like fly off real fast. Yes. It's hard to follow. So anyway, that's turmeric.
Yes.
And that's part of curry, and that's curcumin, and obviously we have lots of supplements for that, and we should use it. Oh, Dr. Crystal, I have something for you. I got something. Are you ready? This is your quiz.
Nervous.
No, you're quizzing me. I'm quizzing you. Are you ready?
Okay. Bring it on.
Right here. All right. So if I want to lower, wait, Holly just said, yes, it's me. All right. Thank you, Holly. If you want to lower LDL, which we call the bad cholesterol, and you want to raise the good cholesterol and support healthy inflammation, and you simply want to cook with turmeric, how much should you use in your recipes?
Oh, man.
You don't know, do you?
You can tolerate. Well, you know, but
it has to
a little bit goes a long way with turmeric. I don't think you can cook with enough, because a lot of times you're not sure how much of the curcumin you're receiving from that turmeric.
This was from Mayo Clinic. Okay. And they suggest when you want to add turmeric to a recipe, it should be 1 1/4 teaspoons. It's not a lot, but that has been shown in studies to help with the cholesterol and inflammation.
Well, that was going to be my answer.
No, it wasn't. You weren't even close. All right. So anyways, I have my own quizzes for you as we move on to the next spice.
All right. So I'm going to switch these around based on a comment in the chat. And I'm looking for the comment now. I think it's too far down. Oh, Donna. Donna wrote, works better if used with a hot spice or like pepper. Thank you, Donna. So we will go ahead and play a little switcheroo and name this spice, Dr. Mike. Now, this is typically, people use it for discomfort. People take it when they're having occasional.
You just gave it away. You just gave it away.
Okay.
You just said pain, basically, right?
Right.
I know the answer. Let's see if anybody else online knows the answer. I do know, because there is a well-studied food source that has a specific compound in it that's hot, and Janice got it again. Wow.
Janice, you're on fire. Yes, cayenne.
Yes, cayenne pepper, right? And the key ingredient in that is the capsaicin.
Capsaicin, right? Yes.
Yeah, that's what makes it hot. I wanted to, so Donna mentioned something about the 1 1/4 teaspoons of turmeric. I think it's, I don't know if that's per recipe or whatever. I think that's more daily amount. I don't know. I'll have to check with the Mayo Clinic on that, Donna. But yeah, cayenne pepper, capsaicin. Tell us about that, Dr. Crystal.
Ooh, well, it burns. But I'll tell you that much.
It burns going in and it burns going out.
That's right. But it's so good for you in between. And so we love cayenne. Cayenne is great for supporting cholesterol levels. But what makes us excited about cayenne for heart health is its benefit with endothelial health. Now you may be asking, what are our endothelial cells? You know, and I don't know if you want to talk about that a little bit, Dr. Mike, from a medical doctor perspective, or I can take it on.
You can take it on. You make it sound like I'm boring. No. Dr. Mike, would you like to talk about this from your medical doctor? I'll let you handle it. I'll just say the endothelial cells determine the health of the cardiovascular system.
Absolutely. So a lot of times you hear the cardiovascular system, the analogy of like it's pipes and clogged pipes. So you think about a pipe, that's pretty hard, but our vascular system needs to be flexible, and it needs to be able to move and respond to heart. You know, our heart's pumping out blood with each heartbeat, pumping that blood into our arteries, and the arteries need to be able to expand. If you're going for a run and you have more of that blood flow, you know, the arteries need to respond. And so the cells that line the arteries are called endothelial cells. Yeah, and those cells are responsible with, you know, helping to support the flexibility of the arteries, helping those arteries to be dynamic. And when those cells are injured, when they are stiff, you know, when you have high blood pressure, those cells, and they become injured, that's when you have plaque formation occur. So it's kind of that injury to the artery, and now cholesterol plaque can infiltrate that artery wall, and you know, then you couple that with inflammation, and now we got you have a problem.
So that the endothelial cell at the end of the day lines the artery. If they're healthy, often that means the artery is healthy, right? That's really cool. All right, so lots of people replying about the dose and all this, like Donna was saying about adding the 1 1/4 teaspoon to 1 egg. I'm like, no, I don't think that's what they meant. I think it's.
But I think you could. It will the thing with turmeric, it's a very strong flavor. So a little bit goes a long way. But I would like to get to my next one because that's all I can smell.
Yeah.
So the next spice is very pungent.
Is it white or brown? Is it light?
Kind of like tan.
A tan
color. Kind of tan.
Give me a hint. Is there a traditional use or something? Or
it's something that I talk about all the time. I have my favorite Italian restaurant cooks with lots of this. For students when I'm teaching after a night at the restaurant. You have to work
on your hints and tips. You can't. No, the minute you say Italian. No.
Yes.
Garlic.
Once again. Oh, Aaron was able to chime in. It's garlic.
Yeah.
It's so strong.
And we've known about garlic for a long, long, long time. The benefit. I mean, it's a supplement. You don't prescribe it, but I've been suggesting garlic to clients, patients, customers throughout my entire career for number one, probably the most important one, blood pressure. And I think that's probably the key one for me. But there's also evidence that it helps with cholesterol, triglycerides, all that kind of stuff. I do want to say something, Dr. Crystal.
Okay.
This is one where cooking with it, add it to whatever you want. It's wonderful. It's awesome. But you would have to add a lot of garlic to recipes to really make the benefit like come out, lowering blood pressure, all that kind of stuff. And if we're talking and connecting this to like Valentine's Day, not sure if garlic would be my go-to one to spice up my love life.
If both of you are having garlic, then it's just fine. You can both have those garlic kisses and you don't know which side it's coming from. That works out.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, if you do want to supplement with it, which is probably the better way to get the higher dose, right?
Mm-hmm.
I listen, I'm a firm believer in the pure garlic supplements. Yeah, you're going to take it. It's going to smell. It's going to make your breath smell, because there's garlic out there now that's kind of calmed down a little bit, I guess.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I'm not a big believer in that. What do you think?
Well, I think it depends on why you're taking it. You know, if you're following a specific protocol where it calls for, you know, a garlic that's not quite as pungent, then I would say go for it. You know, if you're working with a practitioner, that's what they suggest. But really, that what makes garlic so special is allicin. That is one of the active components, and that can be a little stinky. The smellier it is, and it's the sulfur that you smell that causes it to smell so pungent. But you know, the stinkier it is, the better it is for you.
Is there anything better than walking into your home or maybe a friend's home who's cooking a meal for you, and you walk in and you smell garlic? I mean, come on, that's pretty good.
Oh, I mean, I love it. Yeah. I roast garlic. I love the way the house smells at the time. I think after the fact.
Yeah, it gets a little old, right?
Yes.
Yes, it does. Yeah, so that's awesome. Lots of good garlic. Great for me, it's blood pressure, endothelial health. That's where the benefit from garlic comes from. So what else you got there?
So I am just going to scoot this one over a little bit, and
you gave it away. You're supposed to be quizzing me.
I forgot we were playing this game. And I was like, oh, I have my stick. So everyone should be able to guess this one.
Yes, that's cardamom. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. It's cinnamon.
I was like, Dr. Mike, are you pulling my leg? It's cinnamon.
I'll confuse you a little bit.
It's cinnamon, and I'll tell you, I love cinnamon. I make a chia pudding every evening. You told me about the chia. Every evening with cinnamon, and it is what we like about cinnamon for heart health. And this is a little twisteroo. Is cinnamon is supportive for blood sugar.
Yes.
And so when you talk about the role of blood sugar with heart health, sometimes you think the two aren't related.
It's separate. Like a lot of people see it separate, right?
They shouldn't. Yeah. We do know that high blood sugar can damage those endothelial cells that we just talked about wanting to support and protect. Right. And so that process where you have the damage from the sugar, that's called glycation. And you actually see diabetics have a higher risk for cardiovascular disease, worse outcomes. So you need to kind of look at things that can support your healthy blood sugar. And what I find is when I add cinnamon, for some reason, I don't need as much sugar. And maybe it's kind of that salt spice.
Oh, that's interesting.
Kind of idea where you add in some of the spices, but the cinnamon just brings so much flavor out until I can use very little sugar in my chia pudding as an example.
Yeah. So it's interesting. When I was a young doctor as a resident in Parkland Hospital in Dallas, I remember, when I was first on the medical ward, and I used to see a lot of people with heart disease and all this kind of stuff. And it was so common that many of them also had diabetes. And I remember one of my attendings teaching me that diabetes, because of this thing called glycation, where sugar binds to things, causes accelerated heart disease. Yeah. And that's always really stuck with me. So that's cinnamon, and it's important for your heart, obviously because of the glycation. and the binding to those endothelial cells. Let's go to that last one because I know you got a demo coming up.
I know. Well, the last one, what I realized is not what I thought it was. Now that I look down at it, I'm not sure if you will be able to guess this one. It's kind of earthy, often combined with cinnamon. When I think of this spice, I think of pumpkin pie, sweet potato pie. Does any of that ring a bell? I'll hold it up to the camera again. Let's see.
Sorry.
It's
the issue with live shows. I'm about to lose my battery.
Oh no. Okay.
I don't know if you're looking at nutmeg or pumpkin. I don't know what that is.
It's nutmeg. So Brenda, Aaron, I just have to, and Donna, yes, nutmeg.
So Dr. Crystal, do me a favor, teach about nutmeg and let me get my power cord.
Okay. So nutmeg, believe it or not, is from an evergreen tree. And that's what's so nice about your herbs and your spices. And Dr. Mike, we've talked about this in our podcast, Live Foreverish. We did a podcast kind of comparing herbs to spices. And we know cooking with herbs are also just as beneficial as cooking with spices. The herbs are usually from the leaf of the plant, and then your spices are going to come from the bark or the root or even some stems of your plant. And so nutmeg, evergreen, who knew? But as you can see, anytime you see the colors, I always look for colors of the rainbow when you look at your spices. And what these represent are antioxidants in your spices, antioxidant polyphenols. And also, whenever you see the oranges and the red colors, you're also seeing carotenoids. These are, pigments that's found in those plants that can, help with eye health, with brain health. I've been taking carotenoids to help to support my brain health. But yes, nutmeg is another one for heart health. It can support healthy blood flow. Nice. It can help to ease inflammation. And really, you'll hear that's kind of our the common denominator with all of the spices that's laid out on this table that we're presenting is inflammation. As Dr. Mike mentioned, chronic inflammation is the common denominator of all chronic age-related diseases. And so you have to target inflammation. You can target it in many ways. We love turmeric or curcumin, which can help with inflammation, or curcumin. Dr. Mike and I, we kind of go back and forth.
Turmeric, curcumin. I mean, we always say.
Yeah. So these are spices, and everyone. I have to give a special shout out to every single person who wrote ginger in the chat, because ginger is on our list, and it was one that I have in the pantry, and it's actually a lighter color, and much lighter than garlic, in fact, and so that is one of my favorites. I love it combined with cinnamon and nutmeg. Ooh, but I love ginger also combined with turmeric.
Yeah. So Dr. Crystal, I got this email here and I printed it out. This is from Holly.
Okay.
And she's given us some more advice on like how much to use.
Okay.
So we talked about cayenne pepper, right?
Yes.
That looks like a half a teaspoon, but it also says frequent dietary consumption. So I guess that means just eat a lot of spice. Spice it up. I don't know. Cinnamon, about a half a teaspoon in some of your recipes. I don't know if this is per recipe, but maybe it's daily. But if you do a half a teaspoon of cinnamon, you're looking at good blood sugar control, triglycerides. Garlic, 2 to 4 cloves a day. That's 20 grams.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's a lot or not, but and then let's see, turmeric. We talked about that one, 1 1/4 teaspoons, and then you said ginger.
Yes.
Let me see here. Here it is. Best results with 1 teaspoon daily. So there you go. Maybe that helps a little bit, right? Now, if you're somebody who's dealing with high sugar, really high triglycerides, you might need to look at supplements as well, not just the dietary sources. But this is about recipes, and that's just some advice on how to use that. So, are you ready, Dr. Crystal?
I am ready.
So she's going to come back on here. And she is going to talk about 2 things. One is called, I already forgot it. Dua? Wait, what is it?
I'm just going to focus on the drink.
Well, I know, but wait. We're going to talk about Duca real quick. And then you're going to show us about a really cool Mexican hot chocolate, right?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So here we go. The first one, and we can just talk about this real quick, is Duca. And if you want to learn more about this, you can go to lifeextension.com. Oh, there's a nice picture of it right there.
Yes.
Lifeextension.com/DUKKAH. Duca. Robson, if you have that, yeah, there it is. Can you go back to that picture, Robson? So what you see there, it's a Mediterranean, maybe more Middle Eastern recipe using nuts and seeds and spices, and many of the spices we talked about today are included in that. And a lot of people use it almost like we do hummus.
Yes.
Now the one that image you got there, that one looks a little more chunky. I've seen other images maybe where they blend that a little bit more, right, Dr. Crystal? It's more like almost like a butter or a hummus or something like that, right?
Yes, but what makes this a little different from hummus, one is you actually roast your chickpeas. So hummus is, the chickpeas in hummus is obviously cooked or more of like a boiled chickpea, and it makes it softer, but you actually roast and brown the chickpeas until they're crisp, which means, so it changes the texture, it changes the flavor, brings in some more of that smoky flavor to your dish or to your dip. You're still using your extra virgin olive oil. And instead of using tahini, which you often see in hummus, you're actually using toasted sesame seeds. So again, you're getting more of the texture.
Can I ask you about toasting? So when you say that, can I just take like a baking sheet, put some chickpeas, put some sesame seed? What is it, like 400 degrees, 10 minutes?
Degrees. And you may you're toasting them for about, 40 minutes, 40 to 45.
Oh, it's that long. I wouldn't have thought that. It's that long. Okay.
Yes, but the key to roasting, and this is with anything that you're roasting, is you have to, after about 5 to 10 minutes, stir it, shake it. And maybe we can talk about that in a different show. Like if you're ever trying to,
All right. Well, but anyways, so Duca's a really cool, maybe alternative to like hummus. If you're although we love hummus, but if you're getting sick of it, you can try this. You can blend it up a little bit more than that image I think that we had, because I saw some images where it was more hummus looking. But yes. So I'm curious to do that. So are you ready to make?
I don't know if you saw me looking back at my pot because I have.
All right. So Robson, let's go to Dr. Crystal. She's going to be making some hot chocolate. Tell us about this.
Okay, so I am making what we call Mexican hot chocolate. And Dr. Mike mentioned Holly, and Holly gave me this recipe, and she said, "Oh, Dr. Crystal, I have the best recipe for you to try. Mexican hot chocolate, and this can be, something that's nice for an after meal, nice little dessert spicy dessert. So the ingredients right now, I have 3 cans of evaporated milk, not condensed milk. Condensed milk
now,
has sugar.
Okay, so evaporated milk is not the sugary one yet, right?
No, it is not the sugary one. And to this, we are adding ground cinnamon. So 2 teaspoons of ground cinnamon. Where's my cinnamon? Right there. And I have to keep stirring this because you all know with milk.
Now it said 4 teaspoons or 2 teaspoons?
Well, it's 4, but I did the recipe that I have, I'm cutting it in half.
Okay.
I guess I should tell you all that's what I'm doing. So
that might be helpful, Dr. Crystal.
Technically, the recipe calls for 6 cans of evaporated milk. I'm using 3. Instead of 4 teaspoons of ground sugar, I'm using 2. Okay. And the next ingredient is 1 tablespoon of vanilla. So we'll just put that in. And
I like that.
It's really easy. 1 teaspoon of ground nutmeg. Let's pour my nutmeg in, and you see I'm stirring because I better turn this down.
Don't burn it.
No, the milk starts to. Let's take it off the eye.
Oh, it's gonna boil over. You're gonna make a mess.
There you are.
See, I would have made a mess.
Hold on. Let me get my glove here. We don't want a mess and a burn, right?
No. There you go. All right, awesome.
Okay, so let's move it off the eye while I just stir this in. And let's see, after the nutmeg, then you have a pinch of cayenne. Let's put this back on. And my cayenne is over here. There's the cayenne.
We're not the food channel, are we? But you're doing awesome.
But you know, Dr. Mike, have you watched the Food Channel with some of the quarantine where they're
they make mistakes all the time.
It's hilarious. It makes me, I don't feel too bad. Yeah. And then of course, chocolate.
Yeah.
So 2 12-ounce bags of semi-sweet chocolate. And then you can just let this go. Actually, I better switch. Oh, look at that chocolate. Can you all see?
Oh my gosh, yes, we can see it.
That looks amazing. I need to get my whisk out. Let's see if I can multitask here. That's when you know you're good. When you're
the amount of heat you have right now, it's basically just keeping it at a simmer, kind of like a low roll.
Yes. Okay. I have it on low. But you know, it's challenging. If any of you who cook over fire, it's a different type of cooking. And sometimes, depending on the eye, the low is more of like a medium.
Yeah, but I've heard people say like gas stoves, you can control the heat better. I'm not sure. Yeah. So Mary wants to know chocolate chips with stevia. I'm not sure if I get the question, Mary. Are you saying there are some chips that are I guess made with stevia? I'm not sure.
Oh, instead of being sweetened with sugar. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Oh, look at that. Look at how the color's changing as that chocolate starts to melt. This brings back so many memories. And you all, if you could smell.
It looks good, Dr. Crystal. It really does.
Oh, it smells amazing. And it's perfect for the weather here in South Florida. I don't know where you are.
People are from all over the country and they're laughing at us right now because we think 50 is cold.
We turned on the heat.
That's hilarious.
We had to turn on the heat last night, but oh, look at that. It's starting to get so nice and smooth. So yes, I have my burner is on low, but I don't know if you probably can't see it from this angle, but it's still.
No, but we see it's definitely getting more of a milk chocolate looking look to it, color. So that's awesome.
Yes. And we know that chocolate is good for you as well.
That's right. Yes. Chocolate has compounds in it, great for heart health and, great for sugar issues even. I know it sounds weird. Now, we're not talking about chocolate bars loaded in sugar. we're talking about pure chocolate and some of those compounds. So that's great. I love that. So let me ask you now, how do you serve that, Dr. Crystal?
You serve it in a nice mug, and I have some cocoa powder, and you just sprinkle the cocoa powder on top, just to, for the presentation.
What if I wanted to put a little whipped cream on it? Would that ruin everything? Am I not doing heart healthy?
Well, a little dollop of whipped cream.
It's not going to kill me, right? It's okay.
Not going to kill you. And I'm a big proponent of moderation. Yeah. If you're having whipped cream on a regular basis, then yes, that's a problem. If having that dollop of whipped cream is going to make you spiral out of control, for the next week, don't do it. We all have to kind of understand our personal limitations, but if you can have a little bit, I would say go for it. Enjoy life.
Well, listen, that looks awesome, Dr. Crystal. We appreciate your work there. So just so everybody knows, we covered how many spices? 5 or 6? Because you brought in 5 spices. There's a great article if you go to lifeextension.com/spices. We cover, I think, a total of 12 anti-inflammatory, heart health herbs and spices. You should check that out. We're really proud of that article. And don't forget, you can also check out the Duca recipe at lifeextension.com/Duca. And give it a try. Maybe it becomes your new hummus. You never know, right? I like that because me, I'm from Albania, which is close to Greece. I'm Mediterranean, Dr. Crystal. So for me,
I do know that.
Yeah. All right. So, Doc, you want to come back online? Don't worry about the rest. I mean, you want to pour some in a glass and so we can see what it looks like?
Well, I have to tell you, I was going to make you jealous. I was going to pour up a little bit in my mug and make you jealous, but that's okay.
You could have done that anyway. So that was awesome. I think this was, a very informative show. Listen, man, eat the right stuff. Spice it up. It's all good. And as Dr. Crystal said, everything in moderation. That's another thing to kind of consider. This was fun. Fantastic, Dr. Crystal. Good job. Thank you. Yeah.
While you're closing us out, I'll go and put some of my Mexican hot chocolate in my mug so that
you do that. Take some pictures of it and we can post it after the show.
Yes, I will.
Yeah. All right, everybody, thank you so much for commenting. We love interacting with you guys. Just bringing everything we do at Life Extension just to all of us and talking about it and discussing it. And so thank you so much for joining us today. I'm Dr. Mike. Thanks for watching.